Good morning. Today is the 28th of January. It's about 11:35 a.m. here in New York, and we will do our first session of Selenium WebDriver automated software testing with Java and Cucumber. So I want to welcome you all. Thank you for being here, and let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Irfan, and I will be your trainer, and I will be with you for next 4 weeks. We'll be meeting on Saturdays and Sundays from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this training will be something that is going to make you pretty confident and pretty comfortable working with Selenium. This training will prepare you not only to crack the interviews, but you will also be taking away a lot of code that you would be building as a part of this training. You will be ending up creating framework that you could pretty much use in your real-life projects. If somebody's looking for a job, this training absolutely is going to help you a lot, not only, again, to crack the interviews, but you will be able to leave a good impression on your interviewers, and will also help you as how to prepare your resume, what contents you got to be putting in there. So we'll be doing a lot as a part of this training. There is going to be two ways we will be imparting this training. Of course, these are live sessions. I'm going to be with you every Saturday and Sunday for the next 4 weeks. On top of that, we'll also be giving you a lot of videos, and these videos has certain topics that we might not be able to cover during the sessions because of lack of time. So you should be attending all 8 sessions as well as you should be watching the videos. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that we have a clarity is we will be giving you 8 assignments. Every day there will be an assignment. So there are going to be 8 assignments as a part of this training, and these assignments will cover scenarios that you would come across when you're working on your projects. Anybody who will find themselves completing these assignments, I can assure you, you will have not only gain a lot of knowledge as a part of this course, but you will also be ready for the job market. You would be ready to handle any situation you would be put into. But people who are just attending these live lectures and cannot for some reason find time to do the assignments, I can tell you that you would have difficulty when it comes to like working on your projects. So my very, very strong suggestion is you follow everything that we tell you to do, and you do it. Now, you might have some hiccups here and there. You might have some challenges here and there trying to complete these assignments, and we'll be more than happy to welcome your questions, and we'll be there to answer your questions. And if there is anything that we could do to help you complete those assignments, we will be doing it. The way normally it works is we will put you all in groups, and you could be putting questions, you can be posting questions in those groups, and somebody who had completed their work, if they want to help the others out, you're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise, the faculty is going to also monitor your groups, and we will try to help you out as well. It is going to be a good interaction for the next 8 sessions, which is next 30 days. Now, I'm going to do my best to be here, but there could be some, situations like weather-related emergencies, because I happen to live in New Jersey, and it's that part of the country where you could be having some snowstorms or whatnot, and this time of the year occasionally we have noticed in the past 6 years we have been providing this training. Occasionally you you end up like canceling a class here and there, the reason being, weather is not cooperating with you. So we will keep you notified well in advance if we ever face that situation. So that time you could use it as a way to reinforce your learning by following what we will give you as an extra assignment, if at all, if there is not going to be any class. Okay, now while I teach you this course, it is about 95% hands-on, meaning that I'm going to do my best to show you something as how to do it, and I expect you to just watch me doing it, and we'll make a video of that, and you all will have access to the video in case if you find something you have to step away from your desk, or from wherever you're watching this, if you have to step away from it. No worries, because you could still pick it up in the video because you would have access to the video. So what I would suggest and recommend is you will notice what I'm going to be doing today. You try to mimic me. Whatever I will be doing, you should be doing the same thing after the session. So when we meet tomorrow, let's say if I will do certain things today that is about preparing the environment and whatnot, you should pretty much catch up with me, meaning that I don't want you to procrastinate, and then if you have to go to a party or something in the evening, and if you don't have time, find those extra 2 hours and finish off everything that I'm telling you to do. Because keep up with me, because this course is a fast-paced course. I'm going to be teaching you a lot of stuff in this course. It's not something that we are here to kill time or what. I will make sure at the end of this course there is going to be a huge transfer of knowledge from my side to you. So I'm going to do my part. I am extending my hand. It's up to you to grab it and make sure that we have a good handshake, and you are ready to grasp everything that I am trying to bring your way. So keep up with your homeworks, keep up with your assignments, and make sure that you invest your time in the next 30 days. It's not just these 2 hours lectures. You have to do work on your own as well. With that said, the course is 95% hands-on. The only time you find me talking is on day one. I would be doing some talking because I got to lay out the plot, because we should know what we are getting into and stuff like that. So you find me, talking a little bit. But once we get past the next 10-15 minutes, and then we're all, we'll be working hands-on, and you have to complete the work along with me, and you notice that I'm repeating myself. Okay, let's get started. Anytime during my presentation, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself. I think if you have attended any online sessions in the past, this software that we are using is not any different from what you have experienced in the past. So there is a button on the top that tells that looks like a microphone, and it lets you mute and unmute yourself. For now, I have muted you all, meaning even if you're singing songs, I am not hearing, nobody's hearing it. So if you have a question, if you're talking into your computer, we are not hearing it unless you turn your microphone on. So feel free to ask me a question, jump in anytime. There are 2 ways to do it. You could use your microphone, or you could put it in the chat window. So if you see on the bottom there's a chat window, and I'm going to, put something in there. Hello, everyone. So notice you might have seen my message there, of course, with the wrong spelling. But it is there. So you know that that's a chat window. So if you type something in there, I will be seeing it. And if I'm in the middle of something, let me finish my thought, and then I will come back to you and address your question. If you don't find me addressing your question for a long time, then I might have not seen it. I'm so indulged in my presentation that I might have not seen it. That doesn't mean that I will not answer your question, because at the tail end of every day when we do these classes, at the end of it, the 5 to 10 minutes I am going to be allocating for your questions. So, if I don't answer it during the session, that could be either I'm too indulgent in my presentation and I've not seen your question. Never I will ignore your question. So you will always find me answering your question either during the session or at the tail end of the question. We will allocate 5 to 10 minutes. We will dedicate that as a Q&A session. With that said, let's get going. So now what are the expectations of this course and what is the objective of this course? I'm sure the expectations are you want to become an automated tester. So that tells me that you have taken care of the prerequisite because for everything there are certain prerequisites. So there are certain prerequisites for this course as well. Now, what are those prerequisites? The mandatory requirement for this is you should be a tester. You should be, it really doesn't matter if you are an automated tester of some other, skills, maybe like QTP or some other programming language that you know. It's all good if you are an automated tester. If not, the mandatory requirement is you should be a manual tester. You should be a tester. I cannot be taking you from completely different background and expect that you would be getting 100% out of this course. Of course, you can learn. I mean, I will make sure that I will present in such a manner that anybody could learn, but I will be using certain terms like Agile, and I'll be using Scrum, I'll be using Sprint, I'll be using like regression testing. So anybody who is not a tester, they will have a little difficulty, hearing those terms. So we should be comfortable with the vocabulary, technical vocabulary. So that is good if you're a manual tester. If you're not, then don't worry about it because here we go again. Here are a bunch of courses that we offer, and you could be taking any of these courses. So if you're not a manual tester, you should be doing this first. Again, talk to our admin people, talk to the student counselors. They will suggest and they will advise you, which courses to take, if at all, if you want to become like a pro at software testing, then you should know this, you should know this, and then you come here and then become a pro. If you take any of the 2 courses from here, then you become a pro. So if you're here just to take this course, this particular course, which is Selenium with Java, then I expect you to know at least manual testing. Now, as you notice, we are using Selenium with Java. We are using Java here, and Selenium with C#.NET. We are using C#.NET. So it is good. It is better if you have Java knowledge. It is very good. If you don't, then I suggest that you take this course or try to learn Java on your own. I will be teaching you Java, but I'll be teaching you Java very fast, meaning that I'm not going to be going into the granularity of like spending time like an hour on object-oriented programming in terms of classes, objects, and all that. I'll take probably like 5 minutes, and I'll quickly introduce you like what is an object and what is a class, how do you instantiate an object from a class. But a detailed 16 hours of Java is done in here in Java for testers. All right. So either if you have a husband or a wife who is a Java developer, good for you, very good for you. If you have a friend who is a good friend who could teach you Java, good for you. If not, come to us, spend a little time with us, and we will for sure make you almost an expert in Java with our Java for testers. Now notice we named this course as Java for testers. Java is a language, right? It's a programming language. So it is a very powerful language. So it is used by different peoples, like programmers use that, developers, they use that. So they are using Java as the language to create, to build software. So what are they building? They're building applications. Like if you go to any domain. Like if you have an account with Wells Fargo, if you have an account with Chase Bank, if you have an account with SunTrust, if you have an account with Bank of America, so you might be doing banking online. So if you go to your respective banks online, and if you log in, and if you're looking for how much money I have, and if you have paid some bills, so that's a complete application, right? So most of the applications are built using Java language, or maybe C#.NET, or maybe some other languages like PHP and whatnot. So those are the languages that are used to build the applications. Understand that we are not building an application. What we are doing here is we are knowing this language to test those applications. Now, whenever we talk about automation, the word automation immediately should put in your head that, okay, I need to know some programming, because automation means that making something happen automatically. So how do you make something happen automatically? That happens if you know as how to program. So you will be programming, or you would be building, you would be creating testing scripts. So you would be writing some code, you would be writing some program using Java in this course. Now you would say that, hey, I don't know much of Java. How can I mean, I will, again, I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to give you enough of Java so that you could manage, learning how to build automation, scripts. But if you're going for the interviews, and if you expect you to get a good job, they are going to grill you. They're going to ask you questions on Java. So it might sound French to you. It might sound gibberish to you, what I'm going to say next, excuse me. They might be asking you, like, how do you seal a class? Now you're like, what are you talking about? I did not even understood the question. Of course, you are not understanding the questions, if at all. If you are not, no offense to people who already know the answer to it, but basically they'll be asking you certain questions on encapsulation, on abstraction, on inheritance, on linked list versus array, different types of arrays. There's something they could be asking on collections. They could be asking questions on how to convert one type into another type. So all of these things, if you're going for a good company to get a job, they definitely would be grilling you, not just in Selenium, but also in Java. So my job for this particular course is to make you an expert on Selenium and Cucumber. Right? Any question they ask you on Selenium, you will be able to answer. But I cannot take the ownership, or I cannot give you the guarantee that you might be able to answer every question they ask you on Java, because this is not a Java class. So I just need you to have a clarity of that. Now, are we suggesting you to buy more and more from us? Absolutely not. That is not the reason. That is why I said, if you have a husband or a wife or a friend, go to them, save some money. But again, these courses are not like hundreds or thousands of dollars. I mean, look at that. This is like $299, $300. I mean, if you get a ticket in New York, you pay that kind of money. I mean, if they catch you turning in one of the streets where you're not supposed to turn, you end up paying almost like $150. So 2 tickets. So I happen to, travel a lot in New York City. So probably like I pay that kind of money, every few weeks. So it's not a big deal. Look at your investment of your time and money. That's what you have to look into. And you got to measure, like, what is the return on my investment? Okay, I'm investing. Forget about the money part for now, right? Let's look at your time. You're investing 1 month of learning, right? 30 days. And how many hours do we have in a month? I don't know how many hours we have, but 24 times 30. So that is about 700 and change hours we have, I guess, in a month, right? So I expect you to not put in all 700 hours, but not even half of that, not even quarter of that. put about 70 hours, 70 to 75 hours in a month. However you're going to calculate that, I don't know, but put that. So anyhow, 16 hours you would be with me anyhow, right? You and I will be together 16 hours in a month. The remaining time you have to do the assignments, you have to refer some notes and some PDFs that we'll be sending your way. So the idea here is we should set up an objective, and then we should try to set these milestones, and we should try to achieve that. Nothing is free in this world. It's not going to come and fall on your lap that okay, I'm going to get this job, and then you have to earn everything, correct? So you have to, and this is not rocket science. I know my own limitations, right? I cannot become probably a surgeon, right? And I might not be able to become a scientist working for NASA. So those are huge challenges. But anybody, I would say, again, not to offend people here, but anybody can learn Selenium if you apply yourself. So there is a way of learning it. So you have to, I'm telling you, if you give me 50, 60, 70 hours in this month, I promise you, I guarantee you, I put my money onto this, that you would be becoming a heck of a automation tester. So one thing that I ask you is find time in this next 30 days. 50 to 60 to 70 hours. I mean, I said 50 to 70 hours because everyone learns differently. Some of you might be fast learners. You might take 50 hours. Some of you are like slow learners. You might, and there's nothing wrong in learning slow. I mean, I learn slow, but you heard that story of the turtle, right? Turtle and the hare, rabbit. So slow and steady wins the race. So that's fine. So take that time, but you cannot procrastinate. You cannot be like not learning it. Okay, I'm going to do it next week or next month. No, if you are not doing it while you are with me, you will not do it. So let's make it happen. Let's get this thing done. Okay, with that said, let's get started. First thing that we would be doing is we'll talk a little bit about what is Selenium and how we could be using Selenium. And today itself, you will find that we will be doing some hands-on. So I have to balance my presentation only for today, like how much I'm going to talk and how much I'm going to show. But starting from next class, it is all show, or not much of a talk, because I will be doing a lot of stuff starting from the next class. Okay, so we, if I take you to, let's say, bankofamerica.com, right? If I take you, look at this. I mean, what somebody had built it, right? Developers had built this application. And if you look at this application, right now, it's more of a visual application, meaning that while you have these banking, you have credit cards, loans, this and that, right? So now you might be thinking, just bear with me and try to follow what I'm saying. You might be thinking when you go in here, oh, I got to know a lot about this home equity. I don't know anything about home equity. I need to know a lot about business loans. I don't know anything. I mean, this is domain knowledge. If you have domain knowledge, good for you, right? And if you're coming with the with the manual testing background, you definitely will have domain knowledge in one of the areas. You might be working as a manual tester for a telecom, or for banking, or for healthcare, or for retail, or for you fill in the blank. So in the next job where you're going, it really doesn't matter if you have the domain knowledge or not. What they are picking your brains in the interview is, do you know the process, right? And can you implement that process? What was your role in the earlier project that you were working on? And they want to see if you have some expertise in this area. So in this 1 month, my objective is to make sure that I not only teach you Selenium, but I also make sure that you understand certain processes when it comes to like agile way of building a software. So when you are not going to be gone on those days, and I am an example of that. I have about 21 years of experience in software. When I started long time back, when I in the year 1996, I started my my career, and in mostly in on the development side. Before that, I was on the IT support and whatnot. So from 96 to now, which is almost like 21 years, I have been in software development and software automation and things of that nature. So I can bring my 20 years of experience and share with you in this training, and that's what my intention is, so that I can talk to you not just about the technical details of how to build the framework, but I'll also share with you the processes, as how your day-to-day activities go at work, so that in the interviews you should be able to make sure that you are able to answer those kind of questions. Okay, coming back, again, business knowledge is helpful, but it is not mandatory, because if you are going for Bank of America, let's say, and your past experience is in pharmaceutical, if you were working for Merck or if you're working for something else. So it's not necessary that you have to have a banking experience. It helps. It definitely helps. What is more important is, do you know automation, right? How it is done and all that. Okay. So if you take a look at this application, if we have to go and test this application, one thing that kind of like stands out in majority of the applications is they have something called authentication and authorization. So logging in or signing in process. So you could sign in if you are enrolled into it. So enrollment or becoming a member is a part of your authentication. So this, one of the test case would be test this particular module, right? But the most simplest of all is this, right? And then and in this there could be like two test cases. One would be for enrolling, the other would be for signing in, and the third test case is about the forget password. So three test cases might be in there just for this piece. So what we will do is, in the beginning, I'm going to keep our learning of the automation, through an application as very simple. I'm not going to make the application too complex that you are bogged down in the details of the application and not pay attention to how we can do it. So I'm going to keep it simple in the beginning, so that the focus is not on the application, but the focus is more on Selenium, on learning Selenium. And then we will get into some complex applications that requires you to interact with different types of UIs. Now, when I say UI, that's the user interface, and the user interface today is made up of many different elements that were not there a few years ago. Because today, now, as we speak, technology advances very fast, so we have to keep ourselves on our toes. What you are learning today might become obsolete in a year or year and a half, because it's changing at such a fast pace. Back in the years, if you know HTML and if you know some simple JavaScript and all that, developers could be building a good user interface. But for developers now, they have to learn so many different things because for development, there are JavaScript frameworks that they have come in the market that they have to learn. They have to learn jQuery. They have to learn Angular framework. They have to learn, many such things. So for us, we are blessed in the sense that we need not go into nitty-gritty details of all that, but we should have some knowledge of it, and that's what I would be, time and again, I would be giving you some tips here and there, so that would help you a lot, right? So as I have shown you, the applications can be anything. Just to take you to a different kind of application, it could be like a retail, like eBay.com, right? Again, if you take a look at this eBay.com application, or for that matter, if you look at Amazon.com, or if you look into, so this is the retail industry, right? So again, when you go into retail, you are basically try to forget about you being an automation tester or anything to do with IT. Just like a layman, you go to a site. Look at what do you do at that site. Basically, what you do at that site is you interact with that site. So while you are interacting, a layman, maybe my mom, my dad, what they look into it. They just go in here and then they enter. Let's say they are looking for some Disney tickets, right? So they're gonna type Disney tickets there, and then they see if the results are Disney tickets or the results are showing something about something else. If the results are showing completely unrelated to your query, then they know that, oh, this website is not good. Why eBay is not showing me something? So that's their way of testing this website and saying, not really testing, but like using the website and saying that, they are not happy with it because this website doesn't give things right. Now, if I take you to a different website, let's say if you go to Travelocity.com, right? And here, what are we doing here? Here again, we could be booking your vacation packages. You could be booking your hotels or whatnot, your cars, your flight. Now we know in our head, right? As a user, forget about you being an automation tester. You are nowhere related to computers. Now, common sense says things, right? When you are booking a hotel. I mean, we know hotels, they run somewhere from $75 to maybe like $200, $300. I mean, if you want to go to a very high-end hotel, maybe a 5-star, 4-star, it might be $300. If you go to, maybe a 2-star hotel, maybe it's a $75. So we know the range. So if I'm trying to look for a hotel, I type here, something like the location. The location is, let's say, I want to go to Atlanta, let's say. So this is Atlanta, and I will. Now, notice I typed Atlanta, right? And I come in here, and immediately it is asking me check in and check out. And notice when I came here, it dropped down this calendar. It dropped down the calendar. And from the calendar, I could select something from the calendar. So I selected that, and I'm getting out or checking out, let's say, on Tuesday. And these are, now look at this. So the things that I want you to pay attention as a tester, and not like my mom and my dad who you could imagine, if I have 20 years of experience, that means that probably I'm like in my 40s. So my mom and my dad probably are they are like in their 70s. So somebody who has nothing to do with computers, they are looking at it. Their common sense is that, okay, they're going to enter something, enter something, enter something. But you and I, we got to pay attention because we are in automation testing. We got to pay attention. Where did I type? What did I type? Where, in the sense like, what was this, right? So this could be, if you look at it, this could be a text box. Then immediately when I click on that, it became like a calendar. So if I don't want to use it as a calendar, look at that. It is telling me MMDDYYYY, right? So I could have done here 02, right? 02 2017. I mean, what's stopping me from doing that? I could have easily, and I hit enter because everything was there. So it took us, and it is showing us. So basically, when you enter something, when you enter all the information, and even though I was here, I entered that, and let's say I come here 0208 2017. Now, notice it's already pre-populated with something, right? Pre-populated, because I mean, you cannot be, what is the norm? The basic common denominator is, one room with 2 adults. So if you want something different, then you could come in here, and here it's a drop down, and then you could. So pay attention, like what elements you are dealing with, right? Pay attention to that, and pay attention to the details, like I could be anywhere. I could be here, and let's say if I hit enter, right? What is it doing if I'm here? And if I'm here, if I hit enter, what it is doing? If I'm here and if I hit enter, what it is doing? So now notice when you hit enter into the calendar with the rest of the fields in there, it is treating it as a submit, right? Because when you go back here, this is how it should actually take us to the next page, right? By clicking on the search, it should take, and notice the time it is taking. It took like, it was like, spinning, and then it took certain time, and then we come in here, and then we are looking into whatever we are looking into. Now, as a human, you did it, I did it, my dad did it, my whoever did it, right? Now, that's not what you will be hired for, because what I just did was a manual testing. They are hiring your services. They're paying you $50 an hour, $60 an hour, $70 an hour, depending on how you go in, for not doing the manual testing portion of it. They are paying you for automating it. So how can I automate so that whatever I just did can happen, without you actually doing it? And it should happen at 2 in the morning when you are sleeping fast in your bed. This test should run. Not only these tests should run, but these tests should also produce some reports which your managers and everyone in the team could be analyzing during the week. So like how many tests you did, what were the results of that, and all that. So in order to make it happen, you have to write some scripts, right? So how do you write some scripts? You got to use some language and all that. Now let's begin to put in these pieces together. So once we put all these pieces together, when you leave this session today in the next hour and a half, I want you to get a very good idea of what is Java, and what is Selenium, what is something called Eclipse, right? And what is automation, right? And what is scheduling, right? Scheduling of the test, and how can I automate? So all of these things very quickly, we will, not only from a theory perspective, but also practically, we should be knowing all of these things. So that's my objective today. So that's what I would like to do. So first things first, let me talk a little bit here more, and you jump in if you have any questions anytime. Okay, so what I showed you, that Bank of America, and then that Travelocity, and then eBay, those are called applications, right? So those are web-based applications. So Selenium is, for now, think about Selenium is something that helps you in automating the testing of the applications. So now the applications that Selenium can test, right? Selenium, we know that we heard Selenium can help us in automating testing, right? So for now, and we will keep coming back to this definition till we come to a very, very technical definition. Now I'm talking more as a layman right now. I'm saying that, hey, Selenium is something that can help us in automating software testing, right? Okay, so if we are testing, what are we testing? I mean, you find testers all over the globe. If you go to a tire manufacturer, right? There are testers there, the quality assurance. So somebody, the tires are being built, and then there is a team of people sitting there tangibly touching the tires, looking into the thread of it and measuring it or whatever. So they are testing the tires. And if you go to, let's say, you fill in the blank. I mean, they are testing. Now, who are we? We are software testers, right? So we are basically testing applications. So we are testing applications. Software applications is what we are going to be testing. So this is software application. So software applications come as, are you a mainframe software application? Are you testing that? Right? Many years ago, we used to. Today, if you even bring up this word, a mainframe, people are going to look at you as if you came from another planet. But I have seen it all. I have seen mainframe, and I have seen client server applications. These are also there today, but almost dying. And there are web applications, right? And then there are mobile applications, right? Okay. Now, first of all, as Selenium is, and we will define what Selenium is. For now, so think about Selenium as some software which helps you in testing. So that Selenium cannot test mainframe. So we even though we want to learn something about mainframe, we cannot, because Selenium cannot do it, and it's a Selenium class, so it cannot do it. So forget about this. Mainframe, we are not learning. Selenium cannot even do this, so we are not learning that. Selenium can do this, so we will be learning it. Selenium can also do this, but unfortunately, we will not be learning it. Now, you would say, hey, how come you are not teaching us mobile apps? Okay. There is, notice how much stress I am. I'm putting a lot of stress. There is so much to learn in Selenium itself, right? So much to learn in Selenium that I cannot do any justice teaching you about mobile, because mobile itself is like a complete 16-hour course. So I am teaching you everything about Selenium with Java, but this is for the web applications. So if you want to take the mobile applications, that's a different class, so you can enroll into that. I would say for now, if you're, again, you have to set your objective. There is a million things in life that you could be doing, right? We cannot be learning everything that is out there. Everything is interesting, and you are, if you let others drive you, right, they can drive you crazy. They can drive you nuts, because everyone, even though they have very good intention, they will try to steer you, you know, in different directions. So we are all smart people, right? And the fact that you are in this session definitely tells me that you are above average and you are a smart person, right? I mean, you would say, how did he made that conclusion? we could get into a discussion about it, but think about it. The world population is 6 plus billion people, right? And probably like 4 billion people, you know, are not in computers, right? And somebody who is in computers definitely have their IQ, high IQ, and on top of that, you know, the fact that you are in this part of your computers doing automation, it puts you into that special area. So you are smart, whether you believe it or not. You're smart. I know you are smart only because you are here to learn Selenium, and you will become smarter when you finish this course and when you take some other courses. So now they are trying to tell you to do mobile. They're trying to tell you to do this and that and that. All is good, right? There is a time and place for everything. Right now, the time and the place here is to learn Selenium. Learn it good, become a good at it, become a master of this skill, and then we will take the next step. We will take the baby steps to get there. We don't, I mean, I don't want you to run a marathon on day one by, like, you know, so I understand. I mean, you know, I have that mentality. If I go to a place where they have, you know, all that you could eat, I put a lot on my plate. I do. I mean, this is human nature. You do that unless you are disciplined, unless you are self-disciplined, or God forbid you're sick. If you're sick, then you cannot eat. But as a normal man or a normal human, if you are not disciplined enough, then you will put a lot on your plate. So as having a hungry appetite of learning, you would like to put mobile apps, web, you know, testing, QTP, JMeter, load runner, no. One thing at a time. Be good at it. There are many jobs out there for Selenium. Just for what I am teaching you, you could be making good, decent money, right? Now you would think that I am talking a lot, but I promise you, in the next hour before you leave, you would be learning a lot as well, right? It is it is important that I inspire you and I put you in the right direction. So I do these, I might sound, babbling, but if you hear it with patience, you will see that there is wisdom in it. So coming back, mobile apps is not what I will be teaching as a part of this course. I will teach you that if you come and see me in the other course. But in this course, we will be learning quite a bit about Selenium. So software applications can be mainframe applications, can be your client server applications, can be your web applications, can be your mobile applications. Now, web applications is something that runs in a browser. So we have to be testing an application like Bank of America, like Merck, right? Like AT&T, or T-Mobile or Verizon, or like Amazon, or like Expedia, or like, so if you see, I covered like different domains. So Bank of America, this is banking. Merck, this is healthcare, telecom, retail, this is transportation, and then you could go into E-Trade, Ameritrade, whatever. So it could be anything. It really doesn't matter what the business domain is, as long as you are able to run that application in a browser. So there are different types of browsers. There is Firefox, there is Chrome, there is Internet Explorer, there is Opera, there is Safari, so if you look on my machine, I have, if you see here, I have, this is my Firefox. How do you know? I mean, you should have all of this on your machine, because we'll be doing a testing on all of this. So if you go under help and take a look into that, Firefox. Now you should also notice the versions. Now if we are automation testers, forget about automation. If you are a tester, you have to keep in mind about these versions. Many a times we don't care about the versions, but understand that when these softwares are running, they are running on different browsers. When you say different browsers, it could be Firefox, it could be working on one machine on a Firefox, and when you run on a different machine, it is not running on the Firefox. You would say, I have already tested it. So in your documentation, you have to mention the versioning, right? So keep an eye on the versioning, right? So you should, when you talk to me next time, if you have a difficulty running something, you say that, oh, I'm running it in a Firefox and it's not running. So don't tell me you are running it in a Firefox, because I want you to be that smart person who will give more than not giving. So you have to give more. So what is more? You have to tell what is your operating system on your machine. So here we go to find out. There could be different operating systems. You could be running it on what? On Unix machine. You could be running it on a Linux machine. You could be running it on a Windows machine. You could be running it on an Apple machine. So basically these are operating systems, right? So usually testers, when you are testing the application that Bank of America or Amazon, those applications, by the way, what is an application? What is your understanding of an application? An application, what you look at here, right? What you look here is a page. This is a page, right? This is a page. When you go here, and if you look at it, this is the URL. This is the address of that page. When I go here and when I click on that, this is another page. So it is, now if you notice, it said that's a whatchamacall, that's a form that popped out, right? So pop-ups also, we got to be looking into pop-ups, how to handle pop-ups, right? So if you look at it, this is another page. So this is, now there is a folder on Bank of America servers called deposits. There is a folder called checking. There is another folder called checking accounts. And if you don't see anything, that means that there is a page, right? That's called a default page. So under this folder, there is a default page. So this is the path, or this is where they have deployed, they have placed, they have put this page, right? They have put there. So an application is nothing but it's a collection. Collection is nothing but group. It's a group of web pages. So an application is a group of web pages. So when a developer, when they build when they build the web pages, right? So when they build the web pages, they might be using many languages. They might be using Java. They might be using, let's say, some like C#.NET. They might be using PHP. They might be using like Cold Fusion markup language. They might be looking. So these are different languages. So it really, for us, meaning me as a tester, right? It really doesn't matter how they build. How they build, I don't care, right? I mean, I care, but it's not really very important. It's good for them if they build it. So that doesn't mean that if they build using PHP, I have to know PHP. No, it really doesn't matter to me, right? Good for them that they're using C# or Java or PHP or Ruby or Python or whatever, right? It really doesn't matter, right? Okay, what matters to me is I have to test that web page. So when they are building the web pages, right, that web pages will be having UI, right, graphical user interface. UI is nothing but this drop down, this check boxes, radio buttons or check boxes or text boxes or calendars. So these are the elements of user interface, right? So I not only have to know these different elements, right? So there are common elements, right? Text boxes, multi-line text box, checkbox, radio buttons, and all that. So I need to know not just about those, but how Selenium is going to interact with them. How Selenium can find that, how I can write the code. So Selenium should be able to type something in a text box into these elements. So I need to know as how Selenium can find those elements and all that. So my knowledge is not just restricted to Firefox, or I have to have everything on my machine. So let's talk about these operating systems. Can be the operating systems of the server where they are deploying the application. So when they talk about going live, right? So go live should have exactly the same architecture as the test bed or the developers and all that. So we also will be talking about, setting up of these things, how it happens in real life, because it's always like developers saying, okay, it's working on his machine, and you are saying that, oh, when I test it on my machine, it is working. So you would be deploying it into an environment that is pretty close to a developer's environment. So we have something now called DevOps, right? So we'll be talking about how to interact with the DevOps. So DevOps will make sure that they talk to the developers, and then they talk to the operations people, and we are a team of between the DevOps and Ops. We are the QA, we are the team in there. So we will see the integration, we will see the collaboration between the different teams and all that in terms of the technical details as what you should have and what you should not have and stuff like that. So our knowledge should be that if they say that, oh, the application is going to be deployed on Unix, don't just sit there as Unix. Try to have a knowledge of what version of Unix, right, are they using? What version of Linux are they using? What version of Windows are they using? When we talk about operating system of the server or operating system of you, right? You have a machine, right? This is your machine, a laptop or a desktop or whatever. From your machine, you are going to be testing from your machine. So you should know what you have on your machine, own machine, what is the operating system, what is the browser version and all that on your system. And we will very soon I'll be discussing about Eclipse and all that. So when you, while in this course, when you talk to me and tell me that, hey, something is not working, I will, I will not even ask you, because I want you to develop the habit of describing everything in detail in terms of what is your operating system, in terms of version and all that. So your operating system, if you go here, mostly we are using Windows, right? So if you go here, go into control panel, and if you go into system, it'll tell you what your operating system is. If you take a look, mine, one second here. Yeah. If you see here, mine is Windows 7 Ultimate version, and I'm running Service Pack 1, right? And if you see the configuration of my machine, right, what do I have on my machine? On my machine, it really doesn't matter what machine you have. I mean, HP or Dell, Alienware, or whatever. I have, knock wood, I have a powerful machine, because we do a lot of trainings and all that, and I have to have a good stable machine. So I have 16 gigs of RAM. It's a 64-bit operating system. So you've got to be knowing that there's a 32-bit operating system. These days you don't have that. Every operating system these days is a 64-bit. And you should at least pay attention to this, pay attention to that, and pay attention to what is your operating system. All right, so that is your operating system and your memory. So this is called the configuration of your machine. Then the next thing is about the browsers. You got to have all of these browsers on your machine. If you say that, hey, I don't have Firefox on my machine, I don't have Chrome on my machine, I don't have Internet Explorer on my machine, I don't have Opera on, so okay, don't have, get it. And how do you get it? We will go to our best friend that is out there today. I mean, you might have the best of the best friends, but I guarantee there is no best friend than Google, right? Where do you go when you need to find something? I know that your friend can give you a good advice. Guess what? I have very good friends. I have very good family. I have very good everything. But to seek knowledge about anything, I go to Google. I make myself a little smarter, little more smarter, I would say, before talking to my friends and all that, by just Googling it. And you could Google from your phone. You could Google, if you don't know anything, any new term, just Google. There's no harm in Googling, right? Your boss will be very happy if you sound knowledgeable, and if he finds you Googling, that's fine. They will, if you have a realistic guy, if you have a good, reasonable boss, he can understand that, this person will get the work done at the end of the day. So how he gets the work done, he's not going to care about that, right? So it's fine to Google. So anyway, so coming here, go and download. Your assignment today would be downloading all the versions of the software. So as an example, if you take a look, I have, this one is my, you all know that this is Chrome, this is Firefox, this is my Opera, right? And this is my Apple, right? Safari. So, and I have probably here, I can drag here, right? So I have my Internet Explorer. So I will keep them all side by side. So I have all my browsers. So not only the browsers, now you cannot say that it's not working on my IE, because guess what? My IE, if you take a look, is what? Is IE what? Because I have a Windows 7 machine. It is not Edge on it. Edge. If you have a Windows 10, you have Edge, right? So if you look into it, I have what's new in Internet Explorer 10. So that means that I have IE 10 on my machine. I have IE 10. So you see that you have IE 10. So don't tell me that, and I have intentionally installed new versions automatically. I unchecked it. And I'll tell you the story why I did that maybe in a later class. But you got to be knowing about the operating, not just about the operating system, but about the browsers as well. All right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about preparing the environment. Preparing the environment before we do the testing. So our objective here is to learn Selenium, and to learn Selenium, you have to have the environment. Environment is making your machine capable of making your machine capable of working with Selenium. Right? Okay. Making your machine capable of working with the Selenium. Okay. So with Selenium, what do? We are going to do automation. Right? And for automation, we know that we need browsers. Right? So we need browsers. So in browsers, we got to have the following. So you will do that as a part of your assignment. Firefox, right? And Opera and Apple Safari. So you can download that, right? And one more thing that we got to do here, this is your assignment to download all, right? And another thing as a part of the environment is you will check and find out your machine configuration. So any doubts about how to check the configuration of your machine? So basically you will go to control panel and you will go into the system and you will check things out there. Okay, so we did that. I told you as how to download and all that. Next thing is we got to be looking into the machine should be prepared because we are learning Selenium with Java. So you need to know as how to get Java on your machine, right? So let's talk about Java on your machine, right? Okay, so with Selenium, what happens is you will write the program. The program you will write is using a programming language called Java, right? So Java is a programming language, right? So your computer cannot understand the programming language. So what happens is we have to basically, after you write the program, it has to go through a process called compilation. Compilation is converting it to something that your operating system, which is Windows, and what operating system? Windows 7, in my case, in your case, Windows 10 or 8 or whatever. So it should be able to understand. Operating systems understand 0001100111100. That's what they understand. So this is called compilation. Compilation is converting Java or language, any programming language, into machine language, right? Into zeros and ones. So for that, you need something. Java is, of course, to write the Java programming, right? To write the scripts, you need a tool. You need a tool called. There are many tools in the industry, and we are using a tool called Eclipse. Now, if you want to make your resume, where do you go? Right? You go to what? You go to Word, Microsoft Word. So Microsoft Word is the tool that you will use to build your resume. To write your Java programming programs, right, you will go into a tool called Eclipse. So we also have to talk about preparing your machine to download Eclipse because this is the tool that we will use to create or build our scripts. Okay, so and those create or build scripts using Java. So let's talk about Java first. So this is let's say 1, this is let's say 2, this is let's say 3, and this is let's say 4. All right, so 1 I already did, 2 is your assignment. Let's talk about 3, which is Java on your machine. So Java is a programming language, right? You will use to write the code, so you need the Eclipse. But when you write the code in Java, you need to convert that into zeros and ones for your machine to understand and run that code, execute that code. So for that, you need something called JDK and there's something called SDK, right? Java Development Kit, software development kit. So you need that JDK and SDK. If you are not writing the programs, but if some programs are using Java and you have to run on your machine, then you need something called a Java Runtime Engine, JRE. So there's a difference between JRE and JDK, right? JRE is if you're just running some programs from some other, companies that you want to install it, run it, that's fine, JRE unit. But if you are creating some programs, which you will be very soon using Selenium, then you need to compile those programs, run those programs, and for that you need the JDK. So again, whenever I say anything, immediately in your head you should use versioning. What version of JDK? What version of Java and all that? Okay. So the next thing is first to check, right, if we have Java on my machine. So how do we do that? So I'm going to go to here and type CMD, right? CMD is a command line utility, right? So this is a command line utility, and what this does is, if you go in here, basically, hang on for a second, right? You could go in here, go into the properties, and you could select the color. If somebody asks me like, hey, you have a green color, I don't have a green color, what is the problem? Why don't I have a green color? So I just told them, go in here, go into the properties, you could change it to any color you want. So we change it to yellow color, that's the background color, and you could change the font. This is, if you see, screen background color, so I can change it back, I could change it back here, right? So that's the background color. So you could go in here and do that. Anyway, so now we are here to check the Java is there on my machine. So how do we do that? Wherever you are, type Java hyphen version and hit enter. When you do that, it will tell me on my machine, if you see, right, a runtime environment, right, Java runtime environment, and it also said here Java version 1.8. Whatever, right? Okay, so what I am going to do now is I am going to show you, if you don't see like JDK or something in here, what you should do is you should download Java on your machine. So to download Java on your machine, of course, we'll go to our friend Google, and we will download Java. So I would say download Java. When you do that, it brings you to this Java. And if you see Oracle, you would say, oh, I'm looking for Java, they're taking me to Oracle. Basically, Oracle bought Java. Java is a product of Sun Microsystems. So Oracle purchased Sun Microsystems. So now Oracle owns Java. So there are, as long as you keep going to Oracle site, you're good. You could download from there. So once I go in here, now we are in the download tab, and it is telling me a few things in here, right? So if you take a look, there is a JDK, right? So you should be focusing on the JDK. So here is also Java JDK. So either you could click here, you could click here. Basically, it takes you to the same place. So when you're downloading the Java development kit, JDK, so it is telling you first to accept the license. So you accept the license and then look into the computer on which you are going to be downloading. That means that it is our computer. Our computer, if you see, there's a x86, x64. x86 versus x64 means that one is 32-bit, and the other one is a 64-bit. So I need this one, 64-bit. So I'm going to take this one, JDK8U, this one, 64EXE. This is what I am going to download. All right. So if I'm downloading it, between this and this, it has some samples and all that, demo samples. We don't need that. We just need this. So I'm going to download. Once I click on that, it will tell you again, a smart person will also pay attention to what is the size of it. So Java, because sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes it could be, because it's an interview, and depending on who is on the other side, they could be asking very, very weird questions they could be asking. So, I mean, and it's, I would never asked this question in the interview, but one of the interviewers had asked one of my students this question, like, what do you think is the size of the JDK when you downloaded it? I mean, who pays attention to it, right? But it's about, under 200 megabytes, right? So we will be saving it. So it is going to be downloaded. So as you can see here, if I open, it's downloaded. So let me just, wherever it has downloaded, right, one more time. So when I click here, it'll right click on that and open containing folder. So it is downloaded. It is downloaded into this folder, and like that, I have so many things downloaded. So let me just cut it from there and go into C drive. And if you look at my machine, because I provide trainings, right, on different things. So I have like advanced Java training, Angular JS training, Appium training. This is for the for your mobile apps. Then BA training, and then you have coded UI, you have DevOps, Docker, So I have created folders for everyone. So you can create, if you want to be like on my like same setup like my machine, create a folder on your C drive, Selenium Java training. Try not to have spaces in the name when you're creating a folder. Try not to have spaces, because it causes unnecessary problems down the road. So just create a folder. So I created this folder, and inside this folder I have so many things in here, right? So many things in here. So you can for now, you can just create a folder here, call it Java, right? And inside it, you can paste this. Right? And if you want to install it, you double click on that, right? And we will go through the installation. So what I am showing you now is basically how to get Java and install it on your machine. Right? So how to get Java. So we talked about how to check the configuration on your system. I talked about bringing all the browsers, and I'm talking about, what is Java in terms of JRE and JDK and all that. And I took you to Oracle site, and we downloaded it, and then now we are installing it. So it says that the wizard will guide you through the installation of Java second edition development kit 8, version 8, update 121. Okay, I hit next. I don't touch anything. Notice where it is installing. It is installing in program file Java JDK. Now, just for curiosity, let me go there, program files and Java folder. So if I go into my C drive, and if I go into program files, and if I go into Java, right? Notice I already have it, because every class I show them and all that, right? So if you notice, this is 8.0 underscore 11.1 or whatever, right? And this is JRE and JDK, and this is Java JDK 1.80-121. So this is an upgraded one, right? So I am going to install it, and it hopefully would get installed, and you will see a folder dropping down here very soon. And there it is, and that's the new one that is getting installed today. All right. Okay. So this is how we will be installing, and once we install it, right? Once we install it, there is one more step, and then I will give you all the documentation for it, where to go, where to download, and all that. I will point out to the documentation of all of this. So right now, after you download it, we have to go back and check if my system knows where it is, right? And for that, there is few steps that we have to do, and I will talk to you about that. So it's still installing it right now. So we're going to wait for couple of seconds while it is installing. But once it is installed, what you should do, and you have to pay a little attention to what I'm doing right now. Once it is installed, so here it is, click change to install Java to a different folder, or install to this folder 1. So I'm fine. So I say next, and it is basically going to go and install in that folder. So while it is installing in that folder, I will take you to Start, to Control Panel, to System, and if you see here, Advanced System Settings, advanced system settings, if you go there, this is environment variables. Click on the environment variables. And what you do is you come here. Notice I have this already here, right? But what you should do is, one second. What you should do is what you should do basically is you go in here, you go into, let me take you one more time, you go from start to control panel to system, and sometimes it might be like small, it might be like that for you, right? So do this, do a large icons, go to system, right? Go to advanced system settings, and in here, go to environment variables, right? And there are two boxes, right? You notice that there is a top box here, there's a bottom box here. There is user variables, system variables, all right? Okay, so let's go into the user variables. I have it on my machine already. You might not have it on your machine. So what you do is you will do this. You will say new. When you say new, you will type Java underscore home in upper cases. Java underscore home in upper cases. And wherever it had, wherever it had installed, notice that it had installed it, right? It completed install successfully, right? So wherever it had installed, so that path was, if I do this, this is when it installed it, right? So this is the path, right? So this is the path. So this path, you should take this path, copy it, and come and put it in here, So if you see, look at this, Java underscore home, C program file, JDK 1.8.0 underscore 111. So this is 1-to-1 because up to this point, this was my latest one. This is my latest one. I'm not going to do it right now, but so that's how you will do it. So your machine will show you that. Okay, that's one thing. You got it, right? The next thing is Gayatri is asking a question like, in a project, how often do you have to check or update the JDK versions? Okay. It's not necessarily in a project, right? It's on your machine. On your machine, we are installing, we are preparing the environment. We are preparing the environment. If you see, I'm preparing the environment. So environment is done. Environment is for your machine. So for your machine, right now, your machine environment is, you have JDK, and the version of the JDK is 1.8. Whatever, right? 1.8.112, that's the version that you have. And that is the version that you will be using on your environment because that's the latest version from Java, from Oracle, from Java. 6 months down the road, right? They might have come up with 1.9, right? So that is called, 1.9, and you know that there is a nickname to everyone, right? James is Jim, right? Timothy is Tim, right? So like in Java, JDK 1.8, they refer to it as Java 8 or Java 7. So it's actually 1.7, 1.8 like that, but Java 8, Java 7. So there might be Java 9, right, coming out very soon. So the rule of thumb is anything new that comes out, we must not jump on it immediately when it comes out, the same day and all that. We must, because even though it's coming from a company like Oracle and it's a Java and all that, but it might have its own, bugs and defects in it. So we might not quickly run to adapt it right away. So we should give it some time, maybe like 3 months, 6 months and all that, and then we should upgrade it. And that should be a collective opinion of your whole team at work, whether we are upgrading it to. So usually n-1 or n-2 are the stable version, n being the latest version. So in the industry, if in the industry, if the latest version right now is, let's say, for anything is n, you should be at n-1 for at least for the first 3-4 months. Then you should bring yourself to the newest version. Okay, so that's how the industry works. So so it's not necessarily project-wise that you should be checking the JDK versions. It's for your environment, it's for your machine, and the team might, even though we have been 3 months has passed and all that, but the team is agreeing not to upgrade and keep it with the Java 8 only, right? Then that's the decision of the team. So you stick with that and you keep it with Java 8. So mostly governments and all that, they don't want to quickly jump on something. They will take their own time, right? But if there are some private companies, they want to experience the newer technology, so they want to take that step of like quickly adapting the new technology and the new everything. But the government will take some time. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So coming back, we're talking about this Java. So I showed you that Java home to create this user variable. Now, for the system variable, you need to come here, and in here, you don't have all of these things on your machine. You don't have this Maven and this Ant and this. I will show you when the time is right. Today, we are just talking about the Java. So you, on this side, you come down till you find something called path. This is the path, right? On my machine, I have tons of softwares installed on my machine. But on your machine, you might not be. If I go into edit and if I take this, what I have, and if I show it to you, this is my path. I mean, look at that. I mean, it has everything in it on my machine. I have a lot of stuff on my machine. So your path might not show all of these things, but somewhere in here, if you take a look, I have, see here, C program file, Java, JDK 1.1 up to bin, and then this one. So this is what you have to put in the path. So if I was upgrading it to the newer version, which I don't want to, if I was upgrading to the newer version, I would have done this. I would have gone here to path and edit in the path, not new, edit in the path. Here you have to create new to create Java_home. Here you have to select this path, edit in the path, go all the way in the end. Go all the way in the end. If you find a semicolon there, good. If you don't find a semicolon, put a semicolon and copy this. This is the newest one, right? Copy up to bin, because inside bin is your this Java program, and we want your computer to know that this is the latest Java we have. So you copy up to bin, come here and go here and paste that and put a semicolon. So if you see here, you put program file Java and not the JRE. Hang on, not the JRE. Hang on for a second. Then probably I looked at the wrong one, Java. See, there is a JRE and there's a JDK. Always take the JDK, not the JRE. So if you go in here up to bin, take this, and you will put the JDK. So you go into the environment variables, and then you created this. Here again, JDK 1.8. And come to the path, and here in the edit, you would put the semicolon at the end and put the, see here, JDK. This is the latest one that you have, right? Do that and hit OK. In my case, I'm not going to do that because I already have the version that I want to use. So that's what you have to use. So coming back, after you do this, when you go in here, if you had that command box open, close it. Because when you open the command box, it goes and reads and finds no Java. So you did everything now. So you close the command box and then type command box again, and then type Java -version, right? So that's going to give you the latest version of it once we added the latest version. So now that we have Java done, so we did step 1, step 2, right? Step 2, and we did step 3, right? And now let's come to step 4. So first of all, let us understand what we are doing in here. I told you to check the versions on your machine, the configuration on your machine that requires you to go into the control panel into the system and check for your operating system, check for your RAM, check for your whatever. So that's how you do that. Step number 2, I gave you the assignment to download everything that is out there, and that I need not show you how to do that. You just say download and just give in Google, and then you could go and then download, right? And tomorrow, you at least in your every day, you must like do this. You must create this in Notepad, and you must create in Notepad or Word like what you learned, right? The bullet items you should say what you learned. So today we learned about the environment. We learned briefly about whatever we learned. So make sure that day by day, as I am covering the topics, you can put it in there, and then you could do that so that you can focus at the end of the course. You can focus on all that. Then we talked about the browsers. Then I showed you about Java. Now let's talk about Eclipse. So what is Eclipse? As I said, Eclipse is a tool that is used to for you to make sure that you create your automation scripts in Eclipse. Okay, so where do we go and download Eclipse? Even though on my machine I already have Eclipse, as you can see, I have Eclipse here, right? But I'll still show you. So we go over here, we go to Google, and we say download Eclipse. So when you say download Eclipse, we come to this site, this Eclipse download. When you go in there, it tells you again in Eclipse, you have to again understand there's not necessarily the versions like 1.2, 3.4, 5.8. There's also versionings with their names also. This is the Eclipse Neon. When Eclipse came out, they started naming them in alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, right? So if I take you, this is one of my newer machines, but if I take you to my old machine, you will find all of them there. But even here, I think we have some here. So these are my old batches. So if I look into one of the old batches, maybe September, right? This is Mars. See that? It is Mars, Eclipse Mars, right? And if I go into some other, I might find, I don't know what this is, right? Those are some of the versions. So now with N, that latest version is with N. Let me just, this is Luna, L, Luna, right, for L. So anyway, I'm going to cancel out of that. So going back, so at least you know that there is Luna, there is Mars, there is Juno for J, there is Indigo for I, Indigo, Luna, Juno, Mars. So you could say that you worked in, and this is Neon right now. So download 64-bit of Neon, right? So you could download that, and if I do that, let's talk about the size and all that. So this is being downloaded from, there are many mirror sites. So this is being downloaded from Canada. So if you don't like to download it from there, you could say select another mirror, and this is mostly universities and all that. So Columbia University, right? So from where we could download. So this is the, so 64, it is 45, right? So 45 as so that's going to download. My knock wood, I keep my internet connection very fast, so it takes less than 2 seconds to download. I cut it from there and I go into my Selenium again, Selenium Java, and see here I have Eclipse and all that. So what I will do is I will create a folder called softwares. I have a folder called softwares, and if you see, all the softwares are downloaded here with the time. If I do that, that I install Apache Maven, POI, IE drivers, Chrome drivers, Eclipse installation in the past that we did, and so we have all of this software. So I'm just going to right click on that and paste it there. So it says that this probably not had change from then, so it is already there. So I am going to just create a folder here called Eclipse, right? And I will just download in here just to show it to you that it can be downloaded like this. So right click, open it, right? I'm not doing anything that even needs any attention. So in softwares, I am keeping it inside a folder called Eclipse, and I am downloading it in that folder called Eclipse. In that Eclipse, I am saving it. Okay. All right. So now I have downloaded it. Let me just go and install it. So double click, and if I say run, it is going to install that. So basically, the installation shouldn't take more than 5 minutes depending on how fast of a machine that you have. So it is installing the Eclipse right now. So once it installs the Eclipse, it will give me the shortcut to use the Eclipse. Oh, by the way, when you're installing Eclipse, there are different versions of Eclipse that you could install. We are testers, right? So if you go down here, there is Eclipse for testers, right? Eclipse for I don't want you to use that. I want you to use the top one, Eclipse IDE for Java developers, right? Because what I will do is down the road, I'll give you some idea about the Git and some idea about Maven and stuff like that. So this version, even though it's not required you to know a lot about Gradle and this, but I will give you a brief idea of that, so that when you sit in a meeting in your sprints or in your agile meetings, there are going to be architects there, there are going to be developers there. When they're talking about those things, you have to have some idea of it. You are not using it, so you're not an expert of it, but you should at least have some little idea about it, and that's what we will try to give you. And we'll also give you so many softwares on the side, videos on the sides that you could watch, and that'll make you again, not to repeat myself too many times, but my objective here is when you get out of my training, I want you to become much more smarter. When you came here, you're already smart, but I want to, in this 30 days, use this opportunity to give you as much as I can, so when you go out, you look much smarter, right? That is basically the idea. So okay, we can use this. Nobody's stopping us from using Eclipse for testers, but it is all free. You're not buying it. You're not paying anything for it. Why not get a little bit bigger, and then I will give you a lot more information. So go with this. So once you select that, so it is saying that, hey, do you want me to create a menu entry on the start menu and also create shortcut and all that? Yeah, do that. So, I mean, even though I already have that on my machine, I already have shortcuts and all that, right? But I want it to do it. So it is going to be installing. We have to accept some licensing, and it is going to be installing. So won't take much of a time, again, depending on how fast of a machine you have. This Luna is, I will close this Luna, so that Luna is gone. So it's still installing it. So coming back to preparing the environment. So at this time, we are done with checking your versions on your machine, having all the browsers, installing Java, and at this time, I would say we are done with installing Eclipse. So Eclipse will be installed in a couple of seconds, and so that is done. Now, let us talk a little bit about coming back to let me see what it is saying. Okay, installation is complete. When you say launch, it should basically open Eclipse Neon, right? Eclipse Neon. So what are the different versions of Eclipse you work with? I work with Indigo, and I'm talking to you as if an interviewer, and I'm answering that questions as if you are I am you, right? So the interviewer, what kind of versions of Eclipse? Not that they would ask you, but again, I said there are like some weirdos, right? Some crazy ones. So they ask you something about it. So you say that, okay, I worked, because on your resume, you are saying you have 4 years of experience. In the 4 years, there was Indigo, there was, so that's J for Juno, IJK, cannot remember for K, IJKL, Luna, right? M, Mars, N, Neon, right? Okay, once we are launching Eclipse, it is asking me, hey, where do you want to have your workspace? So let's talk a little bit about what is a workspace. A workspace is the area where you will be saving your projects. You'll be saving your projects. And you got to be creating your software. Testing is done in the form of projects. So we'll be creating some projects that needs to be saved. So what I will do is I will create on your file system, I will go to my C drive, and just for the heck of it, just for this core, this batch, I will say this, create a folder, and I will say Selenium Eclipse workspace, right? Selenium Eclipse workspace. And I will just say this is I'll put it as February 2017. So we're going to be saving everything in here, right? Selenium Eclipse workspace, February 2017. So I need to change that, right? So I'm going to browse and I'll go to my C drive, and on my, where is on my computer, I will go to my C drive and I will look for what was the folder, Selenium, right? SE, Selenium Eclipse. So this is going to be my workspace. Now look at this. Use this as the default and do not ask again. No, I mean, for in my case, I will not check it because I might keep changing this workspace. Because when we go to Maven, I will change the workspace. When we go to, other Jenkins, I will change the workspace. So for now, this is good. So I'll just keep it open. Even if you check it, there are ways inside Eclipse to change it. So that's fine. So once we hit OK, now anything that we are going to do will be saved in this area. So right now, if I go in there, see here, there is nothing. But once I hit OK, notice that some folders they get created here, right? Because there it is, metadata folder gets created and stuff like that. So Eclipse kind of like prepares the area on my file system to write whatever we are going to be creating. So I showed you as how to prepare the environment from all those 4 things. Now comes the most important thing. So the most important thing is Selenium itself, right? The most important thing is Selenium itself. So let's talk about Selenium. I am going to discuss a little bit about, okay, this is the start page, right? This is a start page. You are more than welcome to go and watch tutorials, this and that, but I would say that don't do anything like that, because I will show you a lot of stuff, right? As a part of this course, I'll show you a lot of stuff. So just do that, and tomorrow we'll spend some time here, right? In this tool, we'll spend some time tomorrow. So I'm gonna X out of here, hit OK. I'm getting out of there, and on my desktop, I should have, see here, Eclipse, Eclipse. This is the one, I think. Yeah, that's the one that we created today, right? That's the one. So when we come back tomorrow, I will show you a lot about it tomorrow, right? Okay, so coming back, we discuss about your software applications being mainframe applications, client server, but Selenium cannot do it, so we will not go there. Will not go there. Selenium can do web and mobile, but we are not doing mobile because I gave you the reasons. So for web, basically web applications, something that runs in the browsers, they can be something that is coming from all of this. So these browsers needs to be there. So we came up with an assignment that you would be installing the browser. So that's taken care of. Java we took care of it. Checking the machine, we took care of it. Eclipse, we took care of it. Now, most important for automation is your basically Selenium itself, right? The most important is your step number 5, which is downloading Selenium. So let's talk a little bit about Selenium. So let me spend a couple of minutes on Selenium. So you might have, when you hear about Selenium, you also hear something about QTP, right? So QTP, or the latest version of that, is UFT. As you know, you might have seen, like we have like not just the QTP regular course, but we also have the advanced course on QTP and all that. So we have been doing it for quite some time, so we know what it is and stuff like that. So QTP is a tool from HP, from Hewlett Packard, right? So HP is a billion-dollar company. They have spent so many engineers have, actually UFT comes from a company called Mercury, Mercury in Israel, right? That's a Jewish company that was based in Israel. So HP guys, they bought this. They bought this, and they are now calling it as HP UFT, right? Okay. So it has a version, the latest version is 12.54 or what, that's for UFT right now, right? It is a tool, HP being a rich company, and they have spent millions of dollars in this tool by hiring good engineers to build that. So this is like a complete tool. So since they have spent a lot of dollars into it, they don't give this tool for free. They charge a lot of dollars for it. So the licensing fee, or to purchase QTP or UFT, you have to at least pay closer to $8,000, let's say, right? So it's an expensive software that you have, right? A very good software. There's a lot of stuff that you could do from it. But before even your department or your company could lift the finger, do any testing, they have to chalk out a lot of dollars to purchase the license of this tool. So even though QTP, UFT were one of the popular tools a few years back, today companies are not really willing to spend so much of money in this tool. So they are looking at Selenium. Why? Because Selenium is, you heard it right, it is free, meaning it is open source. What do you mean by open source? Open source is, it's not owned by any company. It is basically free. It is developed by smart people all over the world. They contribute to this. It's an open source. So Selenium guys, they keep building this tool. And what is Selenium used for? Selenium is used to, and again, we gave a very vague definition of Selenium here. It can be used in automating testing. I will give one more very vague definition of that. Right? Any actions that can be performed on a browser, let's say, right? So, okay, Selenium is a tool, right, that is used so that if we need to perform any actions, right, on a browser, we could use Selenium. So like what? Automatically you want to click on this radio button. So Selenium can be used. Selenium is like a robot, like a software that can automate steps, right, or automate actions. What actions? Anything that you could perform on a browser. So you and I, we can do what? We can check a checkbox. We can type into the text box. We can basically click on this. So anything that we can perform, Selenium can also perform, right? Okay, Selenium comes in different forms. There is Selenium IDE, and then there is Selenium RC server, and then there is Selenium WebDriver, right? Okay. Now, You would say, how come it comes in different forms and all that? You know, if you see any car, right? Any car, right? Whether you take a Lexus, right? Whether you take a Mercedes, whether you take a BMW, right? It's an automobile. It's a car that can take you from point A to point B. But in a BMW, you have X3, you have X5, right? And in a Acura, you have MDX and you have RDX, right? So the idea here is one will have some less, the other will have some more. And even in that, there is something called tech version or something that will have a lot more than there is a base model, and then there is a tech model, and then there is a ultimate model, something like that, right? So okay, Selenium, we all know, is used to automate the actions, right? So there is IDE, there is RC server, there is WebDriver. This is the latest and the greatest, right? So this is what we should be focusing on all the time. We should be focusing on WebDriver, because when you go to work, WebDriver is the one that will be used. RC server is kind of like yesterday's technology, meaning that in the year 2010 or 2011, this was good. But since 2011, WebDriver is the de facto. I mean, that's basically what we use all the time. IDE is, every tool has something called record and play. So IDE allows you to do the recording and playing of that, right? Okay. Our course starting from tomorrow is all this, right? This is 98% of the course is WebDriver. Maybe 2% is IDE. RC server, I will not cover as a part of my live lectures, but I'll give you a lot of videos on that, because nobody uses that today. It's a yesterday's technology. Nobody's using it today, but you need to know how it is done and all that. So if you have time, maybe in the class I will cover, but you could watch the video, so that will have everything. So 2% of IDE I'm going to cover, because it's a record and play. All my course is about writing the code in Java. So that's what you do with WebDriver. Recording is, nobody cares about it, nobody uses it, but there is a there's a secret hidden in IDE. I will reveal that secret tomorrow. That will help you to do this 98% of the work, right? That's a secret. I will reveal that secret tomorrow. But today, I am going to, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the IDE, right? How to do the IDE. Okay, so we have Selenium. I told you about Selenium, right? All those 3 versions. Let's go and download Selenium. So if you go to Google and you say download Selenium, right? So download Selenium, it takes you, download Selenium, when you click on that, it takes you to the site seleniumhq.org. This hq.org is kind of like the Bible of Selenium. It has everything that you're looking for, everything. So if you go to the main page, you have all the stories about Selenium, what is Selenium, Selenium automates browser, whatever actions that we perform on that. So all technical definition and all that is there, right? You could read it, you could ask me some questions about it tomorrow and all that, and in this course I'll be showing you everything about it. And then there are some like the web, notice they have WebDriver, they have Selenium IDE, and then there are, so what is Selenium IDE? Create quick, right? Okay, so what we will do is, I am going to, so when you click on that, it gives you some, you could read it, and you could, you know, watch a few things in there and all. What I am going to do is, I'm going to show you as how to use Selenium IDE today. So when you go to downloads, right, scroll a little bit till you find the IDE. So it's right here, right? So you find the IDE. So we are going to download IDE. But before I download IDE, what is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin, meaning that unfortunately or fortunately, it works only with Firefox. Now you would say, hey, how come if it works with Firefox, how can I use it with the other like IE and all that? I'll explain you all that tomorrow, right? I'll, as I said, I'll reveal some secrets tomorrow and all that. For now, we will see what is Selenium IDE. So Selenium IDE works only with Firefox. So you have to use Firefox. You come here, you have to start Firefox, and then you have to do it. So I am already in Firefox right now. So if you are in the habit of using a different browser, Chrome or Internet Explorer, open Firefox and go here and click on this. When you click on it, it'll take you to the plugin or the add-ons. So what is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is an integrated development environment for Selenium test. So basically we are using it for Selenium test. It is implemented only as a Firefox extension, and it allows you to record, edit, and debug tests. Okay, good, very good. Okay, add to Firefox. When you click on that, it is saying, oh, it says, okay, I already added to it because my machine is so fast, or this is just a plugin. It takes less than a blink of an eye and it is already installed. So when you say install, it is already installed. When you say restart now, restarting now is not restarting your machine. It is just restarting. It is going to close everything now and of the browser, and it is restarted. So when it restarts, my home page is Yahoo, so it brings me to Yahoo. So if I want to use the if I want to use the Selenium IDE, what is Selenium used for? Selenium, if you go back, Selenium is used to test the application, right? So if they test the application that runs in a browser. So let us test one of the applications. So for as I told you, we'll keep some we'll have baby steps. So I'm going to take you to a site called TrainingRite.net, right? Okay. So when you go in here, it's the same application that you saw before for Bank of America or for any of those. Here we will sign up for a new member and we will log in for a, so, and then there is forgot password and all that, right? So these are all the test cases that we have to do. So right now I will show you how to use Selenium IDE, right, to do the sign up. So let me show you the manual test case. So you come in here and you click on the sign up. When you click on sign up, you will enter all of these details, hit submit, and it should take you as a new member. And whatever your phone number that you use, home phone number, and whatever password you use, we will come back here and we will enter that phone number and password and see if you are able to log in. So let's say if I want to use what's it called, like a phone number, this one, 987-654-321, and I will use a password PASSWORD, and if I hit this, there's already a guy with that, so let me take another one. So let me take, probably I use that number for the future, one of the past classes. So let me take another one, 963-258-741, right? And password is let's say, and I will hit submit. When I do that, it says that, hey, sorry, no matching profile is found and all that, right? So what we need to do is we need to basically create this, click on that, and then create this with this number, and I'll use one of your name here to create the test case, but I will automate all that. I will automate all that using what? Using Selenium IDE. So first of all, did we install Selenium IDE? Right? And that's a question, and I want you to respond in the chat. Did we install Selenium IDE? Did I just install Selenium IDE? I want you to respond to that. Say yes or no. Okay, so if you notice, I was talking for completely 2 hours without interruption, right? I don't know how many of you were following me, or how many of you did I, put you to sound sleep and you're dozing off right now. So I need to find out if you are still awake, if you're still with me. So I know Gayatri is, Ed is, and Sean is, but the rest of you folks have not responded. So, okay, Kiran did. I don't know for the rest of you. Okay, okay, I think Shailaja also did. Okay, so while you're responding, so that means that we did install. Now, where can we find it? So what you do is you go up to this menu item. Sometimes you will not find the menu item. If this menu bar is not checked, let's say, you'll not find the menu item. So right click on that, go into the menu, check it, and when you have the menu items here, go under Tools. If you go under Tools, you will see Selenium IDE here, right? Selenium IDE. So what I want you to do is, I want you basically at this time basically to one second here. Give me a second. Okay. I want you basically to do the following. Watch me very carefully because this is another part of your assignment. I am automating using Selenium IDE. Our class is technically over at 1:30. Forgive me for taking 5 extra minutes, and I promise I'll keep it 5 minutes and then we'll be done. So we'll go to Tools and I will use Selenium IDE, and here if you see, this is the tool, right? And this tool is used to do the recording of any test case. So one of the test cases that I would like to record is the following. If you look at this button, if you look at that button, you will see that on that button I have, it is already recording. It says now recording. So anything that I do now here on the website, it will record here, and few things will show up in the command and all that. So how did I start IDE is what so this was asking. So here is what I did. I went into Tools and I clicked on Selenium IDE. It should show after you install. It should show here, and this is what where I am. So there are a few things in here. All right. So if you take a look, there is a menu item here on the top, and then there is a base URL, and then there's a fast slow, and then there are some buttons here, and then there are a few things in here. This test cases that will come in here down the road, and then this command target value. I'll explain all of these things in more details tomorrow. For now, I want you to pay attention to the fact that anything that I do here, it will start to record. So the first thing I would do is click on this sign up, and I came in here. So I am going to take your name. I will never take the last name, so I'm just going to use last name as, let's say you are all, your last name is TrainingRite, let's say, right? Okay, Sindiswa TrainingRite, and your email address is .tr@trainingrite.com, right? Or let's say Sindiswa Selenium, right? And Sindiswa Selenium. Okay, trainingrite.com. A little bit long email address, but let's see how much it is going to come up as. Password, I will use it as password. Password, I will use it as password. Home phone number, I will use it as 963-852-741, right? Let me just remember that number to copy. And cell phone is also the same, 963-852-741. And here I will say day one, and this is just some instruction, day one of Selenium February 2017 batch, right? Okay, and I am going to submit, right? So this is the phone number that I have used, password I remember, and I'm going to click on submit, right? And notice that we have here something called customer information added successfully, all right? Okay, I did few things. Let me just go back here, right, and see if it, and if you notice, there are a lot of steps that got generated here, right? A lot of steps that got generated. So one thing that I'm going to do now is I will explain you all this, but I will do file save test case as, and I will, if you go into my Java, Selenium Java training, I think that I have created a folder called test cases. So let's see. So you should be creating a folder called IDE test cases. In there, I will name this test case as February 2017, new member test case, something like that, right? Okay, so hit that. So that's how it saved that, and this is the test case. If you see, it's still recording, right? So I will click on it once and it stops the recording. So these are some of the commands that we have recorded. Okay, all right, now we want to see if Selenium, this is Selenium IDE. I want to see if Selenium IDE, by the way, version of Selenium IDE is 2.9.1. So I want to see if Selenium IDE basically recorded everything that I was doing, whether it recorded, and if I want to run it, can it run all that, right? Okay, for that, I am not explaining you all of this today. I will do that tomorrow. What I'm going to do is I will go away from this page. I will go somewhere. So I can go to maybe some site, let's say maybe that. I'm going to some site. This is some site that we use, right? So I'm there, right? Or forget about TrainingRite. Let me just go to maybe this site. I don't know what that is, but let's say I go, maybe we host our websites and all that from there. So I am there, or I am here. So it really doesn't matter where I am, right? I could be on Yahoo, I could be everywhere. So wherever I am, right? Okay, what will happen is if I go here, this is going to run my script that got generated here, right? So in order to run this, see this, it runs very fast. Or I want to see what it is doing, so I will scroll it all the way here so that it runs slow. And this is if you have many tests in the suite. Suite means collection of individual tests. I have only one. So this will play one. This will play a suite. I have only one. So even if I click this or this doesn't make much of a difference. So let me just click and see what is happening. So I will keep it on the side here, right? And as we are doing, keep an eye, right, on these, how it moves. And as it is doing any step here, like open means go there, go where, go to this website, TrainingRite. Then click on something. So this I will explain you what this is tomorrow. Type this, then type that, then type that. What is the value? These are the values in here. That's what it is. Now notice I made some mistake. I had originally, not a mistake, but I just wanted to show you that everything is required. I had TrainingRite as the last name, then I changed it to Selenium. So everything it is going to. So while it is running, let me see if it is working the way I want it to work or not. So make sure that it is slow and let's run it. So once I run that, take a look here also, as it is moving from one line to the other line. If it does that line correctly, while it is doing it, it will have a different color, like a beige color, and if it completes it, it puts a lighter green color, and then if something it gets stuck, it puts a red color. If everything is good, here you will get a green, complete green color. That means that our test case, all the steps inside the test case pass. So this is a recording. But down the road, we have to write the code in Java for all this. That's what we'll be learning down the road. But as of now, let me just run it. So here we go. So now notice the browser, what is happening in the browser. There it is. It is clicking on it. It came in here. There it is in this one, TrainingRite and TR. And then we change to Selenium, then the password, then that, then this, then that, then this, and click on the submit. Lo and behold, everything ran. We have a good, and you have to congratulate yourself. What you just learned is how to automate using Selenium IDE, right? How to automate. This is automation now. Now, if you need to do different values can be, you can say that, oh, I don't want in this one. Next time I want to use Gayatri. So you come in here. When you click on here, here is your value. You change it to Gayatri, And let's say we put Gayatri TrainingRite, and I will put, let's say, Gayatri IBM, right? And here also we put IBM and then IBM. Uh, and Gayatri's phone number should be a little bit different. So I come in here and put 42, let's say, and cell phone number should be 42. And so that's how we are making the changes, right? So we have a tool, we made some changes. Now we can just go and just save, no need to do anything, just save, and then run it and see what will happen. Now I'll go completely outside to Google and I come here, do that, and let me run it. So do here, and this time we are doing it for Gayatri. So let's see if it goes to TrainingRite. Open TrainingRite, click on that, put Gayatri, put IBM, Gayatri.IBM, change to Selenium, then password, then that number 4242, and then D1 of that, and beautiful. Right? Okay, so we cannot be making individual changes like that here. That becomes more like manual testing now. So what we will do is we'll have all of these names come from Excel. So tomorrow I am going to show you how to do more of little bit more of IDE, and then we will get into basically into programming with taking you into Eclipse. All right. Okay. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Let me take your questions. So if you want to talk to me, unmute yourself one at a time and ask me any questions, because we said we will have some Q&A. So let's have some questions. If you don't have any questions, the assignment for today is as follows. There are going to be two assignments. First is, of course, you will be doing this. You would be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning that you will be checking your system and email me what is your system. Make sure that you installed all the browsers and put that. 1, you will give me what is your system. 2, you will tell me that you have installed all the browsers. 3, you will say I installed my Java, and you have to take a screenshot of it and show me the screenshot of this. You all know how to take the screenshot, and it should say Java hyphen version and whatever shows me here, so that you should give me a proof that you have installed it. So that would be your proof that you have installed that. For Eclipse, so you should install Eclipse and be ready. 5 is related to assignment number 2. Assignment number 2 is I want you to do the automation. I want you to do this. So you should show me the screenshot of this one. So when I see a green here, when I see that all of this is light green, that tells me that you not only know as how to download Selenium IDE, but you also know as how to do the test cases, and your test case also ran good because I have this green. So that would be it. So assignments are sent to trainingrite@gmail.com. Now, today is day one. Day one, I told you in the beginning, I will do a lot of talking here and there, but starting from tomorrow, it is going to be purely WebDriver, lot of Java coding, and trust me, you will enjoy it. You would learn it. It is my guarantee to you. If you give me your dedication of your time and effort, I promise you this knowledge will transfer. I will guarantee that you would learn it. It's no ifs and buts on that. The only thing that I need is commitment from your side. For those of you folks who have not purchased the course, who are trying and auditing, here you go. You go and buy by going to trainingrite.com under courses. You will go Selenium Java, and you will purchase the course. The course is $349, and you buy it and you would learn a heck lot of stuff in here. As you can see, I'll keep you on your toes, make sure that you learn a lot of stuff in here. There'll be real life projects that I would be doing in BDD and stuff like that, and there'll be a lot of stuff that we'll be covering as a part of the live lectures, as well as some videos. We'll be covering everything. Okay, let me take your questions now. Perfect. Okay. add if you are already a student, then write to you can write to trainingrite@gmail.com and request anything. You could we have a couple of people who will take care of any admin issues, like Monica, write to her, or Tim, write to them. These are the email addresses. Monica at TrainingRite.com, Tim at TrainingRite.com, or TrainingRite at gmail.com, Irfan at TrainingRite.com, right? All the registered people, you will get access to today's video, and all the people who have taken a class with us in the past, if you are within 1 year, you should also get the updated videos based on your request. So either write to Monica, write to Tim, write to me, or write to our general email, which is TrainingRite. That goes to everyone. We will take care of it. Any other questions you folks have? If you don't have any questions, I will let you go. I'll see you same place, same time. Only people who have registered will be getting the links for tomorrow's class. The rest of you folks, I wish you all good luck. If you're still deciding, take your time, but tomorrow's link you will not get unless you purchase the course, and here is what you have to pay. You come in here, click on this buy, and then you will be able to pay. All right. Okay. Let you go. We will upload this video in an hour or two, and you all should be able to access. Okay. Thank you. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Bye.